Okay, well, welcome to the threesome, y'all. This is the podcast where the three of us are trying to stay up long enough to make this recording. If this is your first time finding us, welcome. We are so glad you're here. If you are back for more of our foolishness,
Welcome.
yes, thank you. And you are the real MVP.
Fine ass.
Okay. So the sultry voice you're about to hear belongs to our point person, an optimistic realist. She's known as Star.
Meet me in another world, space and joy.
Vous êtes très belle.
Sounds like a menage.
And the dulcet baritone belongs to our man in the middle, our voice of reason. He goes by the name of Magic.
That's your broad, her ass is bored. She be coming around a lot hot and asking for it.
And bringing up the rear, as always, I, of course, identify as the pragmatic contrarian of the group, and I'm known as Storm.
All right.
Listen, I never know when this shit's gonna work right or not.
So anybody got any foreplay this week?
Did y'all hear the Drake song?
No. I heard about it. I didn't hear it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think
AI
I've aged
is getting out of hand. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, I think I've aged out of that demographic. So
artificial intelligence.
Oh.
He does the first verse in Tupac's voice, the second verse in Snoop's voice, and the third verse in his own.
Why?
That was going to be my question.
I have no idea. I never wanted to hear Pac rapping in Drake style, and I'm not really a big fan of either one of them. And Snoop's still alive. At some point, he should have been like, "Hey, yo, what's going on here?"
Right, the fuck? Yeah, no, he could have. I haven't heard it yet. I have.
It's
I probably
disappearing off the internet because Pac's family was like, "Nah, son."
Right.
I don't blame them.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, bad enough Ja Rule got away with copying his style long enough. Badly, for the record.
I think I'm about to sell out and download some AI. Not because of that, because of the will.i.am interview on Drink Champs.
Okay.
You wouldn't believe he's holding on to some great technology.
As someone who works in technology, I appreciate AI and fear it. But that's a whole nother discussion.
Trying to tell y'all.
Well, this isn't... The problem is... what's being called AI isn't actually AI. So we don't have to worry about Terminators.
Yet.
But that's a whole nother talk show. Anything else? I'm sorry, y'all. This week has been a grind for me.
It's been a different kind of one. I will say that.
I'm a survivor.
You won't give up.
Yeah, I mean, Star and I were talking the other day, and I was telling her, like, lately, I don't know, I just feel stuck for some reason, and I don't know how to fix it. But anyway.
Frequent masturbation.
So, anybody out there, if you're feeling stuck, you're not alone. I mean, seems to be the season for that, because a lot of people keep telling me the same thing. But moving along.
Yes. So it's my week this week, and Also, it will be my last week for a little while.
You're
Um,
going on
Boo.
sabbatical.
I am. I got a few things to do in this world, and um, so I'll be off doing those things for the next several weeks. Um,
Okay.
We're
first
hiring
thing,
We're gonna have to get
scabs.
scabs in. Yeah.
I'm sure they'll be just fine. Um,
Send your resume with nudes.
uh-uh. Just send your resumes. Pay him no attention.
You ain't even gonna be here.
Oh, no. Unless you're male. I can get text messages. Whatever.
uh,
And I'll be listening. So first thing I kind of wanted to talk about, and we can keep this really short. Um, what in the hell has been going on with Brian McKnight? Or what are your thoughts, if you have any at all? Like, he is ridiculous.
are we talking about
So
the thing with his kids?
yes.
Yeah, it's been updated a
Yeah,
little bit.
that's been going on for a while, but I'll have to say, and I think you and I had a conversation about this like maybe a decade ago.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure it was you, where I told you I like his music. I'm not that much of a fan of him as a person. Like he strikes me as an ass.
Mhm.
Yeah, so when this stuff started coming out, I wasn't completely shocked, honestly. I was just like, yeah, that's on brand.
I'm never shocked at anyone these days. Like, okay. Pretty much no matter what they do. However, I'm just always curious as to what in the world makes you just completely go ham on your previous, or your, not your previous family, your previous wife, and basically disown your kids after you get a new wife and new kids. I understand that we're not in that situation, and we don't, there's some sort of backstory, but outside of murder, or I don't know, outbreak, or like you intentionally release some sort of deadly disease my way, and outside of any of that, like, what the hell would make you disown your kids?
I have no idea. Shout out to Black Fathers. You know what? Matter of
Well,
fact, I've seen it enough times. If you got whatever problems you have with your baby mother, you should have figured that out before you got her pregnant. And it could be a case of maybe the new woman doesn't particularly care for whatever family life he had before. Who knows? But as a grown ass motherfucking man, you have created people. Make them the
Exactly.
best
right.
you can.
Exactly.
I read a study on this recently. I don't have it in front of me, but as as much as men on the internet like to scream about how women are going to end up um, lonely with a bunch of cats, it seems like the science says that men are the ones that end up lonely even when they have children. Um, Partly, in part, because a lot of them don't take an active role in raising them. Like even the ones that are, in the household at the time don't always take an active role in raising them. And then when, they divorce, when the divorce comes, the children will side with the mother, either way. But yeah, I don't
Assuming there
understand
was
how
a
you don't
marriage.
foster a relationship with your offspring. Like, why would you? Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I don't understand how you're able to sleep at night under those circumstances. I just don't know. I mean,
I don't understand a couple
outside
of things.
of go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I don't understand a couple of things. Number one, yeah, like, how the fuck do you sleep at night? How do you rest peacefully in your spirit? knowing that
Right.
it's one thing to do these things in public, where nobody, I'm sorry, in private, where, nobody but the family members and people involved with the family know about it, but to publicly denounce your children, like, where is your head at mentally? Like, I don't, yeah, I don't get it. Number two, I don't understand the position of his wife. I really don't. There would be
That's
no
what I was going to
way.
say.
There would
That's what I
be
was going to say. I
no
Word.
don't get that at
freaking
all.
way that I could be happy
With a
with
man
a
that
dude
did this to
who
his
would do
children.
that to his children, especially publicly. Like
Yeah.
I
Why
think we
would you
talked
bear him more children when he does this
exactly
to
because
his
knowing
existing
that he
children?
could
I
quite
would
possibly do
never.
that to you. Knowing that he could
Yeah.
quite possibly do this to you and your children. Here's my
Right.
thing. I dated a dude for a minute who had issues with, well, while I was dating him, he had issues with his oldest child. And the way he went about it to me and for me was something that always settled wrong in my spirit. It showed a serious lack of immaturity. It also kind of revealed that, let's just say, he was not as peace with his past. And because of that, he kind of took some things out on his kids. Mm. But
Mm-hmm.
before we split, I had said, the two youngest ones love you because they're young. But when those hormones and puberty and all of that other stuff start kicking in, if you don't correct some things about the way that you're dealing with this, right? You're going to have these same problems with the two younger ones. And sure enough, that happened. Now,
Mm-hmm.
fast forward here recently, maybe a couple of months ago, one of his oldest kids, because I have a relationship somewhat with the three oldest, because we were together for a minute and we got to caring about each other. Those, that's yeah. So anyway, one of them reached out to me. The youngest of the three oldest had reached out to me and asked me, did I know some information about her dad? And I was half asleep when I saw it, and I said, no, I didn't know the information that she requested. But then as I start to come to, I thought to myself, well, I hope nothing's wrong, because if she's reaching out to me, you understand what I'm saying? That kind
Mm-hmm.
of just struck a chord. So I did reach out to him and text him and I said, hey, blah, blah is looking for you, blah, 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 blah. Right. So then I get on the phone with him and it goes into this whole conversation about how he felt like, oh, well, because her birthday was tomorrow, that she was going to come perform on him on her birthday like her older sister did, and he's not down for it and all this other stuff. And I'm like, well, like I had text her. I said, is everything okay? Do I need to get up? Do you need anything? And she was like, no, everything's fine. And I had said, okay, as long as everything is cool and that's just some shit between y'all, okay, fine. Right? Well, fast forward later on that evening, his current, who has two kids by him, basically send me a message. She sent me a message through Instagram and was like, I just wanted to reach out to you and tell you thank you for letting such and such know that, such and such was looking for him. Blah 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 blah. He's been on the ziggity boom ever since, and now we're broken up, and so he can go and do whatever you want him to do. Now, when I tell you, it took everything within me. Mind you, I'm on the phone when I received this message. I'm on the phone with him and I read it out to him, right? And he was like, oh, don't respond. He was like, don't respond. I was like, oh, fuck you and her. You understand what I'm saying? So,
Word.
um, I was like, listen, I said, if me letting you know that his biological child is looking for him is the wind that crashed your sails, how strong were they in the first place? I said,
Right.
I was just like, don't blame me for this situation that y'all have. I was like, both of y'all are nuts and y'all really deserve each other. I hope y'all make it back together. Peace. And that's all I
Mm.
said to her. But going forward, right? her thing was basically, as long as he didn't have any contact with his three oldest, she was cool because everything was going smooth or whatever in their house and going good as long as the three oldest weren't involved. How are you,
Mm,
as a mother, as a woman, as
right.
a human,
As a
cool with
human
that?
being.
As a human being,
Yeah.
I understand his kids are adults, but still, how are you cool with that as long as everything is cool in your household with your kids? I, you don't care about the destruction of the relationship between him and his oldest kids. How can you honestly say that you love that man, okay,
Right.
if you don't give a shit about the relationship with the kids? Like, that's just crazy to me. I don't
Yeah.
understand Brian McKnight's wife. And if I don't hope he does, I hope he doesn't do this ever again to any other kid. However, if he ends up doing this, uh, it'll be the mother's fault.
She'll get no
It'll be the
sympathy.
mother's fault.
Yeah,
I
she'll
won't
get
have
no
any sympathy
sympathy.
for her. Not for
Yeah,
the
that's what I
kids,
mean.
maybe, but not her.
But not for her because you saw this happening and you continued to bear him children. So,
Fucking
and you
idiot.
know how he treats his children. So,
Or
Insecurity is out here fucking up relationships every day.
listen all the time. And I'm just like, y'all are crazy. Oh, anyway, we're going to move on from Brian McKnight because I feel myself getting irritated. I don't understand people.
Make
So,
a hit, nigga.
yeah.
you said what?
Yeah.
Make a hit.
Yeah, right. After all
Right.
this
Well,
time.
and it's been a while.
Right.
That's the other
And
thing.
had he not been the asshole that he is, he could have rode his whole career off of the hits that he did have
That's all
and
I'm saying.
Vegas residencies and all of that other kind of stuff. Because what he doesn't understand is, dude, I understand you probably have a decent amount of money. I don't know what his net worth is, but you really messing up your bag because now, you know, reputable organizations don't want anything to do with you, like hosting you. First of all, your fan base is shrinking by the by the boatloads every time you do this kind of stuff.
Well,
Like,
first of
people don't
all,
have no respect for that.
and this is something I don't understand. This is what I mean, and Wesley Snipes did this back in the day, remember? Like, how do you do something that burns your biggest fan base and turns your biggest
Exactly.
fan base away from you? Because Brian McKnight's biggest fan base
It's
is going
women.
to be older women, our
Yeah.
age, who most of well, a lot of whom have children
Yeah.
If not
and are going to
grandchildren.
take this personally, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It reminds me, like I said, of when Wesley Snipes went into Essence magazine of all places. Was it Essence or Ebony? I can't remember which one. Talking about how he doesn't like black women because they're this, that, and the other. And then his career tanked, and he's like, "Poor me." But
Oh,
who
too long
who the hell do
too.
you think was propping up your career? So if you're gonna
It
dog
was
your
black
fan base,
women who was caping for your ugly ass. Like,
exactly.
ugh.
Thank you, thank you.
He got too
Nobody
full of
else gave a
himself.
crap. And
No.
then, yeah. So, whatever.
Well,
Well, good luck to his kids and,
yeah. Yeah. All of them.
all of
Um,
them. Yeah.
so my next topic is there are a couple of strange things that have popped up in the news lately. One of them, I won't say that it's strange. It's just the results are odd, or the findings are odd. So it says windmill blades fall off Moulin Rouge overnight. Okay,
Mm.
the red
Call
blades
Don
part.
Quixote.
The red blades, part of the windmill mounted on the roof of the iconic Paris building, fell to the ground to overnight in the early hours of Thursday. The the Moulin Rouge, in 135-year history, has experienced many adventures, uh, but this is the first time that the actual wings and part of the letters have fallen off. There was no report of injuries. The first three letters of the club's name and part of the large neon sign at the front were also missing on Thursday. But they don't seem to feel like foul play is involved. Yeah, no. For 135 years, yeah, somebody was up there doing something.
Well, maybe, or maybe they lack. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. They lack good like structural engineers and architects that can maintain these old buildings, because that's the second one in France that has. I mean, because Notre Dame wasn't. Didn't something happen to that?
Oh yeah. Well, that Notre Dame caught fire
It
during a
caught fire, right?
during
Right,
a
but once it caught fire, they couldn't put it out because
well, I'm sure
there were
fire
some
code was
structural
different when
things
it was
that
built.
were
Yeah.
going on, right?
And
So
fire code, yeah.
yeah, and I mean, and that's the thing about Europe. A lot of these buildings are a lot old, like even older than our country. So it's hard for
So
us to
what you
fathom
saying
those
is
kinds
it's
of
lucky
things.
they stood as long as they've stood, huh?
The
Well,
French
I'm
aren't known for their
saying that.
architecture like that.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is that some of this is probably inevitable
Got it. Got it.
because climates are changing.
Yeah, that's very true. Weather's different. Yeah. Very true. Which I
Somebody
have
should be getting paid to pay attention to when shit
yeah.
is rotting and deteriorating.
Right.
Um
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like you know, whoever's in charge of like the structure of these buildings, there should be some modifications made to deal with certain things, and
yeah.
wind is one of them.
Yeah, that's very
Shit, a
true.
fucking windmill. Yeah.
Speaking of climate change, um, so several not several, a couple of weeks ago, several, whatever, there was an earthquake um that hit the East Coast. And during this earthquake, a 33-year-old father from Pennsylvania uh was having a vasectomy.
Ooh.
Oh, cool.
So Justin Allen, 33-year-old father of two from Horsham, Pennsylvania, got a whole lot of attention on social media Friday when he posted about his experience during an earthquake that hit the East Coast around 10:23 a.m. with a preliminary magnitude of 4.8. And let's just say it struck while he was in the middle of a very delicate procedure. Um, he wrote on Twitter, in capital letters, "A fucking earthquake happened in the middle of my vasectomy." Allen explained to HuffPost on Friday that he had a 10 a.m. appointment scheduled at a urology surgery clinic, and it started out totally normal. "I was thankful to have a surgeon that walked me through every single step of the procedure," Allen wrote. "But about 10 minutes into the 20-minute surgery, the whole room started shaking." Allen reenacted the rare event. How? Okay. Anyway, at first I was wondering if we were close to a train station or if something else could be causing the room to shake like that.
A
Either
train
way, I
station,
didn't.
really, bruh? Like that anesthesia really was working on
Honestly, the last earthquake that hit here, I'm like, is a helicopter flying low over the house? It just
you.
wasn't that crazy.
Either
Yeah, but
way,
a
I
train
didn't.
station,
A
come on.
train station. Either way, I didn't initially think it was an earthquake because I never really felt one before. But when his surgeon addressed the elephant in the room, when the doctor said, "Is that an earthquake?" I still thought it was a joke and that he was
Mm,
lightening the mood. After a minute or two, when things settled down, he resumed the procedure and we all laughed about how we could never forget where we were when this happened.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Shout
if
out
it
to
came
that
out all right,
surgeon.
cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Shout out to the surgeon and steady hands and whatnot.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Scrotum holding nurses.
Sure.
Hey, it's a team.
Yes.
Team effort.
Yeah. For the record, how do I say this delicately? A vasectomy is not a very invasive procedure to begin with. So, I mean,
Okay.
there was a scalpel involved, so things could have happened when the room started shaking. I get that, but it was a vasectomy. That wasn't very invasive. That surgeon probably could have done it with blindfold on. Don't try that though.
Please.
Yeah. That's not a good idea at all.
At
Um,
all.
so in my next but last not odd news, but whatever. It says anger as overcrowded Venice begins charging visitors to enter the city. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Venice becomes the first city in the world to introduce a payment system for tourists.
Okay, wait a minute. Stop.
Yeah,
Full stop.
that's a lie.
Full stop. And I
Mhm.
ask this question in all sincerity because I don't know the answer. Are we
Mhm.
talking Venice, Italy, or Venice, California?
Go
We
with
are talking
Italy.
about Venice, Italy.
Okay. Well, because I know
Mhm.
Venice, California has been having problems as well, but go ahead.
That's okay. Um, and that was going to come up next on the next line.
Oh, okay.
Visitors
Go
to
ahead.
Venice are being charged to enter the Italian city from today under a controversial scheme. Authorities say the
Dun,
pilot
dun,
program is
dun.
designed to discourage tourists and thin crowds that throng the canals during peak holiday season, making the city more livable for its residents. Signs advising arriving visitors of the new $5 fee during the test phase of the 29 days. I'm sorry, during the first phase through July have been put up outside the main train station and other points of entry. Around 200 stewards have been trained to politely walk around anyone unaware of the charge through the process of downloading a QR code with a kiosk set up for anyone not equipped with a smartphone. Officials will carry out random checks on people beyond the entry ports from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. to make sure people have either paid their day tripper tax or are exempt for reasons like being a resident or seniors and other exemptions are available. Transgressors face fines between $50 and $300. Outside of the 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. period, access is free.
Okay, so who's mad?
Visitors, I suppose.
No, okay, because that wasn't clear whether the visitors are mad or the shop owners are mad or like who's mad in this situation. Also, isn't Venice the city that goes that floods like
Mm-hmm.
part of the year?
Uh-huh.
A lot of waterways.
Yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
there's a certain time of year or something where the water rises and they have to put like a structure for people to walk through the town or else they'll have to wade through like waist high water.
Oh,
I'm
yeah, I
guessing
don't know
that's
about
not
that.
the tourist season.
Yeah.
I'm not sure of that.
But other cities have tried stuff like this. We had said earlier on this podcast, like they're kicking the spring breakers out of different cities in Miami. I know in New
Yeah.
York, certain parts of like Manhattan during certain hours of the day, they charge a lot extra for parking or easy pass to get in and out of certain areas.
Mm.
Right.
Capitalism is
And
kicking ass.
yeah, and I think Venice, California, I think was having a problem with the unhoused, I think.
Mm.
On
California is
on the
having a
beach.
problem with that,
Yeah,
period.
in general.
Well,
Especially
yeah,
Southern.
but but Venice Beach, I think, was having a big problem with people, like just camping out. I think, or maybe
Mm,
Yeah, and
maybe
I
I'm
don't think
thinking
it
of a
was there,
different
but there's other states
California
that are
city.
trying to make being homeless illegal. The
Right,
fuck is
which
the
is so
world coming
stupid
to?
because what are you supposed to do if you're homeless?
Sit in a fucking jail cell, I suppose.
Well, then you have some place to stay, so you actually have, maybe help my situation. You know what I mean? Like, like what do you?
making
I,
homeless illegal?
yeah,
This is what it's
yeah,
coming to.
yeah.
Homelessness, rather.
Homelessness. Yeah,
That is insane. What is wrong
yeah,
with you?
yeah. By all means,
What is wrong with this
let's
world?
let's not pay people a living wage. Let's not fix the fact that corporations are buying up, all the housing. Let's not do any of that. Let's just, let's arrest homeless people because what are you going to do? Fine them?
True.
You know what I mean? Like, here's your $100 fine. We're going to send you a summons.
To
Really?
where?
To what address?
Stupid.
Fuck out of here.
Um,
Capitalism is cool in some senses. It can only be maintained to an extent. Eventually, the blob gets so big it eats itself.
yeah, very true.
But learn how to plant a farm, raise some cattle.
Very
Well,
true.
that's not going to help you because because they don't want people from that aren't from European countries coming here either. And so who's going to tend the farms? I mean,
In the
Uh,
end,
that's what,
nobody from the Mayflower was actually a legal citizen.
right. But I'm just saying, that's why our produce costs so fucking much right now.
damn.
They've been known to pay American farmers not to grow shit. It's so backwards.
Right.
Everything's so
I
But the
was
fucking
ones
hot.
that
explaining
need
to
to
my
grow
children
shit can't.
earlier this week how taxation without representation works. And they're like, do y'all feel y'all are represented?
Right. Do
No,
I feel I'm represented?
Any
no.
of us.
I'm represented because my representative is awesome. I will say that. Like I have no complaints about her. Yes, she represents me well. And if I feel like I'm not being represented, I could always pick up the phone and call her and be represented. So, I mean, to that extent, I feel represented.
On that end, you talking about Rashida?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And they hate her, by the way. They hate the shit out of her. And I don't care because, she does her thing. That girl, that lady works. Okay. And she works
Usually the most hated,
for her
well, usually the most
districts.
hated people are change makers, and people don't
Yeah,
like
they
her.
refuse
They
to go
like,
with the program.
yep, want you to
Yeah.
go along with
Well,
the flow.
you know, there's a lot of reasons why they hate her. Starting with the
Yeah,
fact that her last name
that
is
she's a
Tweet.
woman.
But,
Talib. Yep.
we, we won't even go there.
Yeah, we won't go there. Um. So my last topic, um, for tonight, uh, that Storm won't appreciate. Uh,
Uh-oh.
you won't.
I
Um.
Oh
won't.
Lord.
So I had an assignment this week that put me in a barbershop, a historic barbershop in Highland Park. And there were,
Is this going to be a critter discussion? Because if it is, I'm out.
oh
Woman
no,
up.
but you know what? But before I get to that topic, let me get to the last one that you mentioned, critter. My last strange news thing, because I think it's
So,
interesting.
okay, what did I say about I'm out? If this is about critters?
Well, it's not a critter. This is something your ass actually like, but it just reminded me
Oh,
when you
Not the
said
animal
critter.
lover?
So the last different strange news, whatever you want to call it, that I had was This ancient snake from India might have been longer than a school bus and weighed a ton. An
Oh,
ancient,
yay.
see, an ancient giant snake in India may, okay. This was reported on Thursday that it may have been longer than a school bus and weighed a ton. Fossils found near a coal mine revealed a snake that stretched an estimated 36 feet to 50 feet. It's comparable to the
Significantly longer
largest
than a
known
school
snake,
bus.
the largest known snake as of recent times that was about 42 feet, oof, that once lived in what is now Colombia. The largest living snake today is the Asian reticulated python at
Python.
33 feet long. There is no way in hell should there be a fucking animal that is 33 feet long. Jeez. Especially a snake.
Big
Uh,
snakes lead love too.
Right. I'm
no
like,
way.
why especially a snake?
No.
I, you
I mean,
know,
alligators are big enough. Like the average alligator size is what, like 11 to 15 feet? 33 feet long? No way. No. Just no.
oh, all of this hostility toward reptiles, I don't understand.
Just
I'm
no.
I'm okay with reptiles because they they keep the population of critters that I don't appreciate down. Matter of fact, you wanna
Tell you which apples to eat.
you wanna clean up you you wanna clean up the subways in New York City? Put a couple snakes down there. Nobody'll have to worry about any rats coming up and crawling on them anymore. See? Problem solved.
I'm protected by the serpent and the god of the sun.
Yeah. I'm pro serpent.
Yeah, you be that.
Okay. Now what am I not gonna like? Because
Because
you
I
said
never ran
Highland
into
Go
a
Park.
go
30
get your
foot one, by the
t-shirt.
way, but yeah.
Go get you a t-shirt and be happy. Pro serpent.
Okay.
Yay.
Yes.
Um
Pause.
mm.
Hmm. I'm pro serpent in all forms.
Did you say pause magic?
I couldn't wear a pro serpent t shirt, but I'm good with
Well,
them.
you couldn't. No, but that's why I said I'm pro serpent in all forms.
Mm,
I
mm,
appreciate the serpent.
whatever. Yeah. There's still a such thing as too damn big. Fuck that. Anyway.
Punk asses.
Um Now, the topic that you're not gonna like. Okay, so I'm in the barbershop and I'm just an observer and I'm listening to all of these conversations that um, different men are having. Okay, so I pose this question to you, Magic.
Uh oh.
If you could possibly, um,
Go
let's
on.
say, I'll say encourage more, the more modern women in the world to, let's say, go back to three habits that were typical of older women, old school women, women back in the day, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, God.
If you could pick three habits, or I'm not sorry, three things that were typical of those women, what would you? What would three would you pick?
This is
So
a
you
no
were in
win
a barbershop
situation
full
for
of
real.
idiotic red pillars. Is this what you're telling me?
Actually, and I'll get to that in a
Uh,
minute. The conversation was not totally idiotic.
Okay.
It was
okay.
not. It wasn't.
We'll
Okay,
see.
but go ahead.
I'm gonna go
What do you think?
with to leave me alone at times.
Okay.
Um,
Now, do you feel like that's a modern woman thing?
nigga, I can barely get through this podcast without having to hear shit. So yeah, that's some old school shit. Um, I don't mean this to come off as it's about to sound, but fuck it. Naive trust. And
How exactly do you mean that?
trust in general, but I personally know I have naive trust, but
And you
most
think
people
that's
don't.
something that people should have?
I mean, yeah. I don't think naive is the proper word that I'm
I was
saying
gonna
here, but
say,
trust in
because
general. But you have to have a certain amount of wish factor. Like earlier on in the week, my significant other was like, "Does it bother you when I go home to visit my mom and I'm gone for a day?" I'm like, "No." And she was like, "Would you think I'm doing anything?" And I'm like, "No, I trust you, but it doesn't leave my mind that it could be some bullshit happening."
right, trust but verify.
I don't even take the time to verify. Last time I verified, it was shit I already knew. It just had to keep beating it
Well,
into my
that's what I
own head.
mean. You know,
And
that's
the
what I
other
mean.
thing
Blind trust
is,
is foolish.
femininity is fucking dying.
Mhm.
So I'll go with that.
Define femininity. Yeah, see,
You
that's
know,
the
the
problem.
opposite of masculinity was going to be the
Define
easy answer,
masculinity.
but there's a lot. Let's face facts because of gender roles being blurred a lot right now, and there's obviously more women in the workforce now than there was before. It's not what it used to be, and by all means, not let me be that man that be you stay at home, cook, clean, watch the kids, and I'm gonna pay all the bills. No. Take your ass to work. We'll both pay these bills and split the cooking and cleaning and raising kids. But it's truly out here. There's just a lot of women that are just hard for no fucking reason. And I get that,
No
okay,
fucking
you
reason.
got pregnant by somebody that ain't shit. The world is fucked up. You
I was
got to
gonna say
toughen
they're
up
hard for
some,
no
but
fucking reason.
there's
Really?
some that are hard for no fucking reason. Like, you ain't got to be that goddamn hard. Some you do. And
Okay.
I get it. I came from a single mother. I fully understand. But Jesus, calm it down sometimes.
Okay. Okay. So, what I will say is that some of his sentiments echoed some of the stuff that I heard in the barbershop. And so, um, outside of the typical shit that a lot of
Red pillars.
typical men, what?
I said the red pillars be spouting.
Red pillars?
Yeah,
A lot of people think they want some shit till they get it.
exactly.
um, yeah, stuff like, I mean, a lot of the stuff that you hear coming out of men's mouths is stuff about women's hair, women's bodies, which I think is so fucking gay.
You,
I mean, you listen,
you know what?
I
you
don't know if
can
it's
be
gay, but it's fucking
attracted.
delusional.
Yeah, you can be but my thing is this. Be attracted to what you choose to be attracted to. That's
Yeah,
fine. Nobody cares.
but
But
the
you don't have
policing
a
and
right
regulation
to
that you
exactly. You don't have that right to just basically down this and just trash women who are not either looking like or uh don't do what you are attracted to. So what you're not attracted to the fake boob. So what you're not attracted to the fake
okay.
obviously somebody is.
First of all, half the dudes that
Clearly.
say they're not are fucking lying.
Be the
Be,
same ones
be the
hollering
same
at these
ones.
chicks.
Yes.
Oh,
It's the
even
same
in
thing.
that, it's a lot of people say, I like this, I don't like that. We've seen your baby mama. Stop lying.
Right.
Stop lying. Um, that's the
Right.
same thing with
Like I have a
the
friend
natural
who
hair Nazis.
I have a friend who said something about uh, and this was years ago when I was on Facebook, and he said something on Facebook about women with unnatural eyebrows or something like that. And I remember calling friend of the friend of the pod,
Fuck your caterpillar
Mona.
lashes, though.
Yeah, friend of the pod, Mona.
Oh
And I was like,
my.
does he look at his wife? Because her eyebrows so unnatural. But so
Yeah.
I think
I-
people see what they want to see when they want to see it.
No, I think people talk shit to be talking shit. When it
To
really
be
comes
talking
down
shit.
to it, one, you can't bag the chick you talking about. And
Well,
two, your
there's some of
history
that.
shows you gonna take what you can get.
Yeah.
And
I'm tired of all the emotionals around
yes.
here
Oh my God. Oh,
about
I can't.
yes, about what's wrong with women, but yet they can't tell you what's wrong with them.
Well, so here's why I want to get back to the conversation. So, um, now in that, right? Once we got past all the, like I said, all the guys who just decided to spout the
Talking out the
typical
side of their
bullshit.
necks.
Okay. Femininity was one of the things that a couple of the guys had expressed. Um, and uh, they were a couple of the guys had expressed that you know women don't, let's just say, take well, a lot of women don't take um as much pride in their, let's say, appearance as they used to. Um, as
Maybe
far
because,
as when it's,
well,
well, I'm gonna get to that. Hold on.
okay.
As much pride or as much time in themselves. This one guy was talking about how he remembered his mom when he was coming up, and she had like basically this whole ritual, of like when she was going out, because she wanted to make sure that not only that she looked good for herself, and she would say this to him, so that's how he says he knows. She wanted to not only make sure that she looked good for herself and was well put together for herself, but she felt like she was also representing his dad and her family when she went out, right? And he was like, and she would wear stockings and made sure that her clothes were pressed, and her makeup wasn't like how a lot of the women that they see these days with the what do they call it? Witchcraft makeup. It would be something like face powder, mascara, lipstick, or whatever. And she would take that time and make sure that she was neat, presentable, and basically nice looking, right? So, he said, now I say that. He was like, and I do understand that, women's roles have changed. Like, my mom did work outside of the home, but she did have my father as an equal partner. And she only worked part time. So a lot of these women who are out here who are raising families by themselves, or whatever, and they're doing 40 hours a week or however many hours a week, they don't have the time or the energy, or probably, or even the want to always keep themselves prepped up like that, because at some point something's got to give. You come home, you make dinner, you help with homework, whatever, 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 and you get up and it's rinse, wash, and repeat. And when it comes to actually going somewhere, a lot of times a lot of the women are just tired. So it's not that they wouldn't do these things um if they had maybe opportunity or the energy to do them, but they're overworked or whatever. They're overwhelmed. Their plate is full. They
I
make
mean,
sure
that's
that
only
their
part of
kids,
it. That's
that's
only
part
part of
of
it.
it. But the fact that he had that much introspection, I was okay with. You understand what I'm
Right.
saying?
Well,
That
yeah, and
that's
that's more
definitely
than
only
most of
part
them
of it.
get. So sure.
That's more than most of them. And a couple of the guys in the barbershop was like, okay, I can see that. One of the other guys did say something about the whole thing about women being, very or becoming very masculine. And his thing was, he was like a lot of the dance. He was like, if you meet like a lot of these women who are doing what is considered like contemporary dance, the dance is like, even in dance, their femininity is almost absent. He was like, a
Okay.
lot of them are crunk. Wait, hold on. He was like, a lot of them are crunking and, doing dances that typically men would do. And as a crowd cheers them on, they grabbing they, in between their legs, and they doing this and they doing that. And it's like they're mimicking, more masculine behavior. Now, before you say what you gonna say,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I do. I photograph, I love dance, I watch dance of all forms, of all kinds. I can't say I disagree with that.
I was
I
going to
can't.
say I don't disagree. However,
Ah, watch out. Okay.
yeah, I
Watch
was
out
going to
now.
say I
I'm sorry.
don't disagree on the point with dance. However, I
Hmm.
push back on the premise for a lot of reasons.
Okay.
Um because dance is dance. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
this is akin to people saying that, men shouldn't do ballet, or, things
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
But also, I reject it, like, until you can define for me. And here's where I have a problem. When people say, well, women aren't feminine anymore. Define feminine. Define femininity.
Okay.
What does that look
Welcoming,
like for you? Now,
caring, nurturing.
you can be caring and nurturing and still dance and still dance like a dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, caring and
To me,
nurturing.
that's a real false
Ooh,
equivalent. I grew up around a lot of Jamaicans where
sorry,
dancing is
Russell
considered
Westbrook is
like a
throwing
form of
punches, but
foreplay.
go ahead.
Who, what?
Russell Westbrook is throwing punches. I got the game on, but anyway. Um,
Jesus Christ.
Now, what did you say? Finish what you saying. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
go ahead, sir.
Are we
Jamaicans.
talking femininity or dancing? Well,
What?
Femininity.
amongst a lot of, let's say, Latin cultures or Afro Latin cultures, the dancing is, in a sense, a preview of what sex would be like. So I look at dancing differently. To see a chick dancing masculine would be weird, but I wouldn't be too freaked out by it.
Well,
Hmm.
but again, like this notion of masculinity and femininity, like what is
Dancing
that?
isn't the place where
you know, like,
My love.
I don't want to
My.
come home and get dapped and like, yo, what up, son? How you doing? Like, no, get your butch ass down.
okay, but define that though. Like where's the line? Like, what's the line?
So what
Be,
I'll
be,
say is this.
because what I hear from most men, they think femininity equals submission, equals
No,
weakness, you know, and I can't get
I
behind
don't
that.
know if this so directed weakness as vulnerability.
So I have a well, see, even that is a trick bag,
Yo,
because then you're saying that um anyone in masculine energy should never be vulnerable.
let's face facts. Everybody has masculine and feminine qualities. It's the
Thank you.
distribution of them.
And that's my point. Like, where is the
We all knew that.
like the definition of it is so tricky for that reason.
Well, as far as like let's go back to dance. Okay, let's just go back there for 1 minute. Um, I photograph a lot of dance, and but I've been
Well,
an admire. Oh, thank you.
we
Um,
seen it.
I I've been an admirer of dance my whole life that I for as long as I can remember. And all I will say is this, because you brought up the thing about men shouldn't do ballet. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I do realize that there have been gay men in ballet
And
probably since
straight
it
men in
began.
ballet.
But that's exactly where I was gonna go, right? Exactly where I was gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also been straight men in ballet, right?
Yes.
And as I watch these dance companies, and I've like again, I've watched most of these companies or a lot of these companies that have been around for years. I've watched them my whole life, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's harder. Not that it's necessarily important, but it's harder to even discern uh the straight male ballet dancers from the uh gay or whatever they choose to be
And nor should
dancers.
yeah, nor should you be able to.
But let me say this though, right? Here's where I take issue, well, not issue, but it makes a difference for me as a viewer, right? We're going to say Alvin Ailey. We're going to take Alvin Ailey
Sure.
for an example. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you remember Fame? Remember
Yeah.
Leroy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And Leroy's character was gay, right?
I
Um,
seemed
don't
like
think
it.
his character was. I think the actor was.
well, okay, the actor was, okay. But
Yes.
even in those times, even in that time, there even though if you didn't know that he was gay himself, you could kind of see it just a little bit. But when it came to the dance, there was a certain amount of masculine energy that not only came through when he danced solo, but it also came through when he danced with another woman. And it was complementary as far as the energy and the visual experience.
I would
These
say
days,
that a lot of gay dancers, a lot of gay male dancers, when they dance with a female counterpart, you cannot tell the difference. Because
absolutely not the
you,
truth.
well, I said a lot of them, you can't tell the difference because if they're good at what they do, then they're conveying a certain thing to you.
All I'm going to say is pick an any modern day Alvin Ailey video.
Mm-hmm.
Watch the dance, watch the energy, watch the everything, okay? And then go look at something from 20, 30 years ago and see if you feel that same way. I
Okay.
have no issue with the
Challenge
letter
accepted. I
community at
love
all.
watching dance. I
I
love
have
watching
no
dance.
issues with the letter community at all. So this is not an anti-gay spout by any means, right? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that when it comes to the art, when it comes to the art, just like you had the men who are saying, the crunking that the women do and it, loses the whole feminine aspect. And that's something that guys don't necessarily, uh, or would like to see less of, or whatever their feeling is about it. When it
Depends on the
comes to
guy.
any of that for me, when it comes to any of that for me, I love that. I don't care what you are in your personal life. How you
Right.
live is your business, right?
Correct.
But when it comes to me as a viewer and the art, and I see this dancer who is got a body from the gods, you understand what I'm saying? Come on, and he's dancing. I want to be able to feel and view a little bit of that masculine energy, especially when he's dancing with a woman. And a lot of that these
Yeah.
days
See, I don't
is
care about the
disappearing.
masculine. Yeah, see, I don't care about the masculine energy so much. I just want to be able to appreciate the dance. You know what
But
I
what
mean?
I'm
Like
saying
I
is
want I
that
want you to
energy is a
throw.
part of the dance. It's a part of the art.
Well, that's what I'm
Kinda.
saying. As long as they're good at what they do, they're going to convey what needs to be conveyed one way or another. You know what I mean? So I don't really care about none of that. Like I don't even I don't even try to pick who's who. I
Yeah,
just like
Shout
that
good
out to
I
dancers.
don't
tomboys
do
and
that
butch
either.
chicks.
It's not that I watch it for that, and I for it to come off like that. I don't do that. I don't do that. It's just that the absence of that more that more masculine energy and that strength, it's noticeably missing. You can't help but
Right.
notice
But
that
what
it's
I'm
not
saying to
there.
you is it can be noticeably missing in some of the straight dancers and present in some gay
Oh
dancers. Like
no,
you
I said that too.
yeah.
I said that too
She
though.
did.
But that's also kind of the, I guess I don't I, for lack of a
Yeah, but
better
I mean
term,
I
how
feel the
they
same way
say,
I feel the same way with female dancers. Convey to me what you need to convey to me. Like there are different types of dance. Okay, can we agree on that? There are different
yes,
types of dance. You know,
yes,
you know, being a sugar plum fairy is going to come across more feminine than if you're dancing like in a hip hop style, right? It
yeah,
just is.
yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, so miss me with that. They don't dance feminine enough because, they're not, yeah, it's a different kind of dancing, that's all. If you saw them, if you could see the same woman that you say is not feminine enough in her dance, she's doing something, in a video, you could see her the next week doing ballet, and you'd be like, oh, she's so feminine. It it's the
Mm,
dance. It's a dance. You
okay,
convey what you need to convey through the dance at the time.
okay. Um, and so we're gonna end that right there because that's a whole, yeah. There's a whole rabbit hole I can go down with people on that, but we're not doing that tonight or any other future podcast. Um, so while I take my sabbatical for a couple of weeks, I just wanted to say thank you to those who have tuned in, um, who will continue to tune in, and for those who tune in the future, thanks for listening to us. I miss you guys, and
No,
We'll
hopefully
be
you've
missing you.
enjoyed.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
miss you.
and hopefully you've learned a little, laughed a little.
All of that. Questioned a lot. Question everything. Don't
Yeah.
go trusting blindly. Yeah.
And if you do, hopefully they're worth it. All right, we're over an
They're not.
hour. Good night.
They're not. Spoiler alert. They're not. But, you're one of my favorite people, Magic. Uh,
Okay.
you got a gym?
Cool. Do not hold what has happened to you in your past up against the person you were trying to be with now. It is a whole new situation. Grade them based on what they've done, not what has hurt you before.
Mm,
Mm.
but, a healthy
Well,
dose of
next week.
skepticism never hurt anyone,
Yes, it has.
has it?
Wade in the water. Wade in the water,
Children.
children. In the water. I'm sorry, we talking about
Yep.
Alvin Ailey. I had to bring that up.
God's gonna trouble the water. You
Never
know.
find trouble in the water. Hey,
Anyway,
good
I'm
night,
going to
peoples.
finish coaching and walk the dog. And I wish you the best in your endeavors of the next few weeks. And, we'll
Word.
try to hold it down for your return,
Y'all will.
Star.
Y'all'll be just fine.
Leave
Mm.
me stuck here with this crazy woman.
And you got
Y'all'll
me
be
stuck
just
here with this.
fine.
You got me stuck here with this red pillar.
A red pillar. Where did that come from?
The
Jesus.
Matrix, because I chose reality over the fake shit. That's what we're doing.
No, the emotionals on the internet like to call themselves red pillars.
Ain't that some shit? Gotta look that up.
Isn't it?
Did you just group me in with so-called
It
emotionals?
I did.
it almost sounds racist.
I
But
be
anyway.
chilling. I think it actually is for a different group of people claiming to be red pillars.
Mm.
Yeah, well, no, I really don't think you're a red pillar. Matter of fact, you're very,
In limbo.
what's the word? Evolved compared to most of them. So,
Mm.
kudos to you.
That's a compliment. We're ending on a good note. Good night, people.
Feel the love.
You're like, no more. Let's stop right there.
Push the button.
Good night.